If anything, I think the craft taught me three things. Black latex coats are timeless, Catholic schools are very unserious, and never trust a girl who calls the corners. The Craft is a supernatural horror film released in 1996, written by Peter Filardi and directed by Andrew Fleming. The film stars Robin Tunney, Fairuza Balk, Mother Neve Campbell, and Rachel True. Distributed by Columbia Pictures with a $15 million budget, the film racked up $55.6 million at the worldwide box office, and everyone took notes in that theater. This was Neve Campbell and Rachel True's debut as far as a big studio film release is concerned. But Robin had just came off of a project, then Fairuza, she's been working since she was a child. Skeet Ulrich is also in this, and we all know him and Neve did Scream the same year, but this was shot before Scream. Robin knew Skeet from New York and nobody wanted to cast him because he wasn't known, but they flew him in and he turned on that charm and landed the role. Next thing you know, homie's on magazine covers, everybody's calling him hot, he the next fly new thing. Director Andrew Fleming said in the commentary that an MPAA PG-13 rating was sought and they followed all the guidelines to earn the rating, but in the final outcome the film was rated R because there was teenage girls using witchcraft. Softies. They don't want to show powerful women on screen. That's what I'm hearing. Off the bat, divas are doing magic. Pentagram in the center of the table. Candles are lit for divination. Herbs, weeds, deeds, grass, powder, incense, all that. What did Mariah Carey say? Make it happen. The girls chant the following: "This is the hour, ours is the magic, ours is the power, now is the time." The entire setup is beautiful, I won't lie. From left to right we have Rochelle, Nancy, and Bonnie, three practicing witches. After quick flashes of occult imagery, we strobe into the title card and fly through the clouds. Our main protagonist Sarah is on a flight with her father on the way to the new crib. New town, new beginnings, we know this trope. It's pouring down rain, and on the way up the driveway of their new house, which is this vine-infested beauty, love it, Sarah sees a large snake. I smell symbolism. I must say this house is gorgeous on the inside. It's very Spanish colonial, beautiful. The walls are solid concrete and it's painted a warm tannish yellow, but the age is showing because the roof is leaking. Sarah goes straight to her room and pulls out a picture of a woman posing in front of bushes. This is her deceased mother. She jumps downstairs to unpack some paintings, and in the far left of the screen, the front door starts creeping open. A homeless man comes in with the snake she saw from earlier in his hand, and he's saying, "I found this out back. Do you want it?" Sarah starts screaming for Pop, then Pop rushes down the steps grabbing a fireplace poker and chases him out. But the snake is still inside. Well, until he stabs it. The next day, Pops drops Sarah off at school and tells her Jenny will pick her up. And I swear this is my first time hearing this Jenny girl. I guess apparently this is the father's girlfriend, who is a nothing character. She might as well not even be in the script, but that's just my 2 cents. Sarah's looking around as if she just dropped on the planet like, girl, what is this, a Jesus school? And I caught people side-eyeing her too. Like, y'all act like y'all ain't never seen a white person before. Cunty shot of the 3 witches walking down the hall. Bonnie is all in her book. Nancy is on the punk runway, and Rochelle is dissociating. This is also the first time we see Chris, Mitt, and Trey.
Hey, scary bitch alert. Oh, God. I thought it was Satan. Jesus Christ. God. Oh, she's looking.
Bonnie brings up how the almanac says that today will bring the new arrival of something, and Nancy is like, right. Right. A new wholeness, and with it, a new balance. Earth, air, water, fire. Maybe it's our fourth girl, Bonnie suggests. And Nancy pulls out a noose that she has hanging in her locker. Yo, Nancy vocalizes how she doesn't think the girls need a fourth, but Bonnie argues they need the missing link to call the corners. North, south, east, and west. I mean, 4 would make a circle, Rochelle says.
Maybe she can be our fourth. I love a woman in uniform.
In French class, Sarah's doing what we all do and playing with pencils, you know, making them spin around and shit. Bonnie catches her too, and only when she lets out a small gasp. The classic Nev Campbell gasp, the... Sarah loses focus and she drops her pencil. Mind you, she was staring that joint down hard, and not only was it standing up, but, you know, the joint was spinning. Looks like we found our fourth. In chemistry, Bonnie pulls up to the witches' table telling them Sarah's coming through the door, and you know it's meant to be. Because out of all the seats and tables, Sarah directly goes to the witches and asks if she can sit with them. Bonnie says yes, but only after Sarah walks away. Like, good job, ho, now you don't have a fourth. At lunch, Sarah's sitting by herself, and that boy Chris, who looks like he slices up his classmates, introduces himself. He apologizes for the homies Mitt and Trey's behavior in French class after she corrected them. Mitt and Trey had said some stuff about her in French class. I skipped over. I'm not wasting time on some virgins. So Sarah's like, well, you know what they say, you are what you hang with. And Chris is like, true. Wait, did you just call me an asshole? But she apologizes to him and she says her defenses are up because people haven't been so nice to her. And when he asks who, she calls out the 3 girls across the courtyard, but don't look, and of course he does. Chris tells Sarah they're the bitches of Eastwick before warning her to stay away, because the one on the far right is a major slut. I mean, I don't know from experience or anything.
Right.
And the one in the middle, she's got these burn scars all over her body. I haven't seen them, but my friends have. Okay, so what we gonna say about the one on the far left? That she's black?
Right.
He tells her they're witches and she barely reacts to this before he hits the, but anyway, shawty, what you doing after school? I got football practice and should come by and watch. A cover of the Smiths, How Soon Is Now, a bop and a half, comes in as Sarah goes to Chris's football practice. Like, girl, I thought we was playing hard to get. You being a little easy on me. But I'll cut my girl some slack. You know, Chris was the only person to approach her. It's her first day at the Jesus school. Word. The witches come out the cut and Nancy is wearing her signature latex coat. I mean, one of the most iconic articles of clothing in a film ever. I need this, even though, you know, that's not even my style. Like, I don't even wear stuff like that, but I just want it in my house. Rochelle says, Nancy's sorry about what happened in biology. She's mean to everybody, so, you know, don't take it personally. So Nancy can't speak? I'm confused. If she's sorry, let me hear it from her mouth. This is where we officially learn the trio's names, and when Sarah introduces her name, they're like, yeah, we know who you are. See, y'all acting real cute, and I don't like that. Nancy opens her mouth asking Sarah if she wants to go for coffee, but she rejects, saying she's got to get home because her dad's waiting. And Nancy don't give a shit. She tells Sarah she can make something up, and besides, Rochelle is ditching swim practice.
It comes on to anything with tits, Sarah.
Except me.
She's also like, he spreads disease, speaking from personal experience. Like, oh, babe, Nancy notices a cut mark on Sarah's wrists, who reveals that she tried to take her own life. At least Nancy had the decency to empathetically apologize.
You even did it the right way.
Punk rock, let's go.
The ladies hit up a spiritual shop, and you can tell from the jump the owner is not playing around. There are candles lined up every step along the rails, against the windowsill. Fuck with her if you want to. The owner's name is Lirio. She smiles at the girls, continuing a cast over a candle. There are colored candles, jars labeled with herbs. She's even gotten an altar right in the shop. I know that's right. Bonnie picks up one of the books, telling Sarah to put it in her bag, and Sarah's like, no. Everything in nature steals. Big animals steal from little ones. And Sarah corrects her. They steal for survival. Besides, I already have a diary. But Bonnie says this is different. You put spells and power thoughts in it and you don't let anyone else ever read it. Maybe except us. Yeah, I don't think so, babe. What this book is basically supposed to represent, I think, is like some book of shadows. A curtain with an Egyptian eye catches Sarah's attention, and right as she tries to pull back the curtain, Lirio grabs her wrist like, that's not for you, little white girl. And I was waiting to bring this up because I was waiting for like the perfect shot where you really notice it, but Robin is wearing a wig and it is atrocious. If you look enough at the hairline, it's kind of obvious, and baby, you know, somebody needs to get fired. She played in Empire Records before shooting this film where she buzzed her entire head, so they gave her this style, and you know what, in certain lighting when it's covered, it's not horrible, but every scene I notice it and it haunts me. Lirio holds her hand, telling Sarah, what a beautiful ring. It was your mother's. Huh? But mind the ring, are you gonna pay for what's in your arms, white bread? And when Sarah says yes, Lirio's like, oh, you ain't like your little friends, huh? Oh, you have no idea. Well, actually, you do. Sarah picks up a few colored candles and Lirio gives her a book with the title of the film, The Craft. It'll teach her everything she needs to know. By the way, her total is $20. Like, goddamn. Hold on, where is this at? She got some candles, a book to teach her about the craft, and an empty, book of shadows for only $20. That sounds cheap as hell. Oh, but then again, inflation. Well, when Sarah hands over her 20, she's like, I don't know about this kind of stuff, as if we couldn't tell. Maybe you're a natural witch and your power comes from within. It's getting dark and Sarah is ready to get the fuck ASAP, but Bonnie says just look straight ahead and keep up. Did you hear what I said? The homeless man from earlier pops up with another snake in his hand. Sarah starts running and he's like, wait a second, I have to talk to you. I had a dream about you. In my dream, you were dead. Oh my god, this is terrifying. Sarah runs across the road, just frantic. The snake man is limping after her, and after a pan in on all the girls with the sound cue, we realize exactly what's about to happen. Did y'all see that? His head went under the wheel. Where's the blood? This guy must have some supernatural abilities. I ain't seen no splitter, splatter, blitter, bladder, nothing. I noticed in the subtitles too, when she's running from him, he also yells. It's not apparent, but somebody caught it. Whoever, typed out the subtitles for where I watched it. He says, I am in touch with the man. And then he says, I am the god of ... And then it trails off. And on the surface, you're probably like, okay, this guy's just bananas, but I don't know, that feel like something else going on here. Just me? I mean, for reference, he never shows back up in the movie, but still, I mean, you get ran over. I don't care. You get ran over. Where the blood at? Where's the blood at? The girls run into the trees at their spot, which is just an old ripped up half couch and some covers in the grass. Where the budget at? I mean, we can't just call the corners and Rochelle's backyard. Like, this is ghetto. They're all freaking out and in shock, and everyone's saying how they were all thinking the car was gonna hit them, and then just boom, it happened.
Well, then that's it, you guys. Sarah's the fourth. North, south, east, and west. We can make things happen. I mean, this is it. This is real. Shit.
I love Feruza and her big ass teeth. Rochelle says, guys, maybe he'll listen now. Who? Cause I know you ain't talking about Lucy.
No.
Who that? Sarah is confusion and she's like, what's that, like a god? Nah, man created God. This is older than that.
Do you guys worship the devil?
Look, I ain't mad at her for asking, just cross it out the list. right? They all laugh before continuing. Manon is like God and the devil. It's everything. It's the trees, it's the ground, it's the rocks, it's the moon. If God and the devil were playing football, then Manon would be the stadium that they played on. This God they're talking about, in other words, would be adjacent to Mother Nature. They created this fictional deity for obvious reasons. First of all, we don't need to be conjuring nothing on set, but more importantly, they didn't want like teenage girls to watch this and then try to work up magic and try to summon things that they couldn't handle. Bonnie asks Sarah if stuff like tonight, you know, making homeless people getting ran over by cars and shit, happens a lot. Rochelle also asks how she learned all this, and Sarah's response is, I don't know. And this tells us everything we need to know. Sarah is a natural, and these other girls are practitioners. Y'all better watch out. Sarah says her thoughts are screwed up a lot. Like, you know, sometimes she'll want it to rain and then the pipe will burst in the room and it'll just get flooded.
Right.
Or if she wants it to be quiet, she'll wish for it and then go deaf for like 3 days straight.
Right.
So Nancy's like, okay, Miss Mama, if you can do that, have you ever heard of invoking the spirit? Invoking who? The Holy Spirit? Because that's all I know about.
That's when you call him. It's like you take him into you.
No.
So possession. Oh, no thank you. He takes everything that's gone wrong in your life and he makes it all better again. Nothing makes everything all better again, Sarah replies, before coming to the faint conclusion that maybe, just maybe, these bitches are crazy. So it's time to bounce. Sarah tells them they're freaking her out and Nancy is just cackling. Cut to a rooftop where Sarah's hanging with Chris Brown. Why? I don't know. Who knows how long they've been up here. In the background, Trey and a girl are walking, so I'm assuming, you know, just him and the homies chill and drink beer often. Sure. Chris starts making fun of the witch's head shapes, which turns into him talking about Sarah's head and how much he likes it. It's getting weird. Then he puts his hands around her face and kisses her. But he asks her first. Remember, consent, kids. That consent doesn't last long, though. Trey and his girl drop a deuce and the blonde chick says, "Nice to meet you, Sarah," as they exit frame. And you know what Sarah says?
Yeah, bye.
See ya.
Girl. Anyway, everybody knows that once you kiss a girl on the lips, that obviously means that she's gonna agree to come to your house and get freaky in the sheets with you, right? Right? Well, no. Well, that's exactly where his head is at. He's like, come on, let's go to my house. Nobody's there. And immediately Sarah's like, LOL, you wildin'. I don't think so, Billy Loomis. And like all boys who want some teenage kitty, he's bummed out. She asks if he's mad. He says no. She apologizes. You do not owe him an apology. The next day in chemistry, the witches come up behind Sarah and let her know Chris Brown has been going around the whole school telling everybody that they did it, even though they didn't. He also said that Sarah is the lousiest lay he's ever had. There's another trio of girls who are watching and giggling like I won't take this Erlenmeyer flask and throw acid up in this bitch. Speaking of lazy lays, Rochelle tells Sarah that Chris said the same thing about Nancy back in the his A. What a jerk. You know, I say we all turn into lesbians. Sarah pull up on him in the hallway and asks to speak with him, but the 4'11" trick hop in saying, I'm sorry, Chris is really busy. Was I talking to you 2 inches? No, get out my face. He's low-key doing what Rochelle did when Sarah told her that Nancy's sorry. Like, move over. I ain't talking to you.
Why'd you lie about me?
Look, I don't want to go out with you again, okay? Please stop begging, it's pathetic.
What would you guys do right here?
Escucha las palabras de las brujas, los secretos escondidos en la noche, los antiguos dioses invocamos ahora.
Cause all Sarah does is say, hey Chris, fuck you. Why are we wasting tears on this garbage bag? Mitt can go straight to hell, but I do love his line when he walks away and he's like, she's gonna cry, then I'm gonna cry, and we're all gonna cry. Rochelle is on the diving board at swim practice, and a blonde chick named Laura Lizzie is sitting with her yes woman making slick comments. And right when Rochelle leaps, Laura yells, "Shark!" messing her groove up. When they get in the locker room, woo, y'all already know what's coming up. I'm already getting worked up here. I'm about to take my little teeny hoops off because it's about to be the Royal Rumble in this mug.
Let me take off these heels just in case any one of these punk ass bitches want to do something.
Like I'm telling y'all right now, we didn't even get to the line. Laura's picking through her little brush and she's talking to her friend. Mind you, Rochelle is on the other side of her mirror so she can hear everything.
Look, there is a pubic hair in my brush. Oh, no, wait. That's just one of Rochelle's little nappy hairs.
So what's up? I'm a whack bitch. I ain't got no swag. Do something about it. You know my style. Do something. Do something.
She picked the right black girl knowing that Rochelle won't gonna do nothing. Yeah. Baby, because I would have pulled out the...
Damn.
God.
Because ain't no talking, ain't no rapping, ain't no none of that. You just gonna catch some of this handwork.
When you see me when you see me in the streets. That's all I'm gonna say to you, bitch. You're a blink, bitch. At the end of the fucking day. Bitch, you know what I look like, and I know what you look like. So when you see me, just be ready for that handwork. That's all I'm gonna say, bitch.
Rochelle confronts her, asking what she's got against her, and Laura says exactly what we all expect her to. Though she doesn't use the hard R.
Because I don't like Negroids. Sorry.
Bonnie is at the doctor with her mommy to get a procedure done that is, as the doctor says, experimental. And Doc McStuffins cannot promise that there is little to no risk. It'll be painful, but non-invasive. Bonnie is stretched out on a table, and on the screens we see all the curves and bridges on her back that developed before the film began. This needle is jabbing the hell out of her back, and oh baby, pray for my girl, y'all. While this is happening, Sarah's having nightmares to the night she tried to take her own life. We get a peek into Nancy's home life where she lives in a tiny trailer with her drunk mother and disgusting stepfather. The stepfather is John Capellos, aka the janitor in the Breakfast Club and Jenny's husband in 16 Candles. Miss Downs is bitching to her boo because he didn't pay the electric bill, though he argues the power is out because it's storming outside. So then why is the neighbor's light still on? She gave him shmoney, and honestly, he probably ain't paying. He probably bought some beer. In chemistry, Nancy is whispering to Sarah that they're going on a little field trip. And when the teacher tells her to shut the fuck up, Nancy says one of the dumbest and one of my favorite lines in this film.
Sorry, sister. Yo.
Sorry, sister. Yo. Yeah. It's so stupid. I'm sorry, I laugh every time, I don't care. The witches go on their field trip, and after getting off in the middle of the boonies, the bus driver says, "You ladies watch out for those weirdos now." And we know this line. I mean, come on, if you don't, sorry, I'm sorry.
We are the weirdos, mister.
The girls find a spot out in the woods, holding hands, chanting earth, air, fire, water, continuing their official initiation for Sarah into the coven. They all commit under oath, prick their fingers, and drip their blood into a cup of wine. I don't know if I would have been able to do this. Like, we can't just say a cute little prayer over the wine, y'all. We gotta, One by one, they go around the circle toasting. I drink of my sisters and ask for the ability to not hate those who hate me, especially racist pieces of bleach blonde shit like Laura Lizzie. I drink of my sisters and I ask to love myself more and to allow myself to be loved more by others, especially Chris Hooker. Nancy is looking at her like, when will you learn, white bread? I drink of my sisters, and I take into myself the power to be beautiful outside as well as in. I drink of my sisters, and I take into myself, yes,
All the power of Manon.
And so it begins, the villain arc. Sarah talking about, that's all? Like, what do you mean that's all? She literally just toasted to, like, she just asked to be a god, more than a god. Manon was listening right away because Rochelle notices a flock of butterflies clinging themselves down to the girls. In the following days, or maybe weeks, I would say, even because love spells, or kind of pretty much any spell, I feel like, does not automatically work like that. From what I heard, there are types of spells that tend to be slow burns. Chris is hitting the light-skinned face, showing us that Sarah's spell is starting to work. This Joker's following them after class. They head into the chapel, and Sarah puts her books, Bonnie's books, and her bag all on Chris, who willingly carries it for them as they snicker. Mitz and Trey are looking at their homie sideways. Bro is hypnotized by the kitty. Oh, brother. Rochelle is trying to show Nancy that Sarah's spell is working, but she doesn't care because she's busy trying to learn to be God. Jealous much, Nancy?
Jealous? Jealous?
Yeah, ho, you heard me. During the scene, the priest's sermon is about Adam and Eve eating from the tree of knowledge. Do not try to even know what only God knows. The moment man thinks himself the equal to God, he is lost. End quote. While all the girls are hanging at Bonnie's house, Sarah brings up the game, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Raise your hand if you've ever tried this. The rules are simple. One girl lies down and everyone puts their finger under her.
Put your fingers where?
And Rochelle is the test subject. The candles are lit. We know what that means.
I think I sprained my finger.
That's another one of my favorite lines. The girls begin chanting, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. And very, very slowly, Rochelle's body starts levitating, stopping just at everyone's shoulders. Rochelle doesn't think it's working until she opens her eyes and she starts to freak. Sarah tells her to shut up or she'll fall, so now she's like, wait, hold on. How do I get down? Who's got the instructions, y'all? Peep how they're sitting in a triangle formation. They keep concentrating to hold her body up till Bonnie's mother busts in the door and Rochelle falls on her ass. Bonnie jumps up grabbing the towels and her mom is like, what are you guys doing in here? Are you girls getting high? We get a pre-midpoint movie montage as we see pages from the craft book. The girls are hanging out, eating ice cream while watching Bewitched. We get another legendary shot of the girls walking in slow motion through the food court. Yup. Bad witches only.
It's giving her.
In the hallway, Sarah passes Laura and yanks a strand of hair out of her head. And Laura hollers, sorry, thought I saw a bug. They have shampoo for that, you know.
Stupid bitch.
Ah, you mad. Sarah ties Laura's hair into Rochelle's curls that night, and it's noted how she has split ends, which proves she's not a natural blonde. Uh-oh. Rochelle asks what'll happen to Laura, and Sarah says nothing if she leaves her alone. The picture of Sarah's mother is finally addressed in this scene, and we learn she died giving birth to Sarah. Across the room, Nancy is casting a spell on Bonnie's back as Bonnie chants, take my scars. Take my scars. Take my scars. Take my scars. Fireplace burning, candles all over. Yup, make it happen. At swim practice, Rochelle is approaching the board, so you know Laura can't help but to leave the black girl alone. Don't hit your head on the board, she says. So it looks like she's not gonna leave Rochelle alone after all. Laura takes off her swim cap and there is a big gunk of her hair coming out. Oh. Bonnie has a follow-up appointment at the doctor, shaken with tension, repetitively asking her mother if the scars are looking better. And at first there's nothing, but then the doctor starts wiping off pieces of tissue like a peeling face mask.
It worked.
Like a charm, baby. Then Nev turns around looking at the screen and gives her signature gasp. Like I said, that every movie, Scream, Wild Things, Party of Five, when she up in there crying, that classic Nev Campbell gasp. I live. The next day in class, the girls are wondering why Bonnie isn't at school until... Amen. Mitt and Trey are saying hide as if my girl will not entertain these 2-inchers. Rochelle and Bonnie are hyping Sarah up because without her, this wouldn't have happened. She made Chris fall in love with her. She helped Bonnie take her scars away. She took out Laura Lizzie's hair. Give it up. Give it up. Yeah. Yep. Look at Nancy being lime green jello. Sarah asks what's wrong with her, and Rochelle says that her spell isn't working. And what spell, you might ask?
I don't know. I think she doesn't want to be white trash anymore or something. And I told her, like, you're white, honey. Just deal with it.
Later that night, Nancy is praying in front of an altar with a bunch of satanic imagery. Oh, you can have that. You can have that. She comes out of her room with her robe on, and her gross stepfather tries to look under it. Her mother defends her. The guy insults the mother by saying that, you know, I'm not her father. Her father paid the mother $50 for a quick bang in the back seat. Like, oh my God. So she smacks him, and then he like throws her on the couch, and he's like, don't you ever hit me, Mr. Bad. I'm big bad man. Then Nancy screams, stop, causing a fire in the kitchen. As the mother is putting it out, Nancy is giving this guy a heart attack with just a simple demonic stare. Look, she even making sure he stay down in the ambulance. The following day, the ladies find out the stepfather had an entire life pension plan through the company he worked for. And after the lawyer scrambles to look for the numbers, he reveals the life policy was $175,000. Inflation is one bitch, because in 2025, $175,000 back in 96 converted to today is $352,743.84.
Oh my God.
Woo, we eating good tonight, y'all. What y'all want from the store? Let me write it down. Come, yup. The next day, Bonnie, Sarah, and Rochelle head to Nanny's crib, and okay, these outfits, every scene, it's just hit after hit. Who the hell is the costume designer? Deborah Everton? Get your flowers, girl. Come on up here. The black coats, the dresses, the cross jewelry, the rosary, Sarah's beret, the shades, the stockings, the boots. The kids were taking notes. Bonnie is flipping the gender roles, complimenting a guy they walk past, and don't be shy, honey. Cute ass. Their high-rise crib is plastered all white, devoid of any furniture. I'm a little off-put. Nancy pulls out a chapter of a book she's been reading and shows the girls something called glamour, an illusion so real as to fool an onlooker, one of the oldest forms of magic. So you know these witches had to try it out. This is to feel, this is to be, shape and form man for all to see, by the power of 3 times 3, as I will it, so shall it be. Once Sarah lifts her hands up, her eyes are now brown when they're usually green, but Nancy says you can accomplish that with contacts. Come on now. So let's show them something bigger. Sarah takes her hands and slides them up her face and through her hair, which turns its color blonde. And to rid it all she does is shake it. So now they're all like, oh my God, wait, do something to me, do something to me. And Rochelle is like, make me blonde. Why do you want to be blonde after that beach blonde built body chick been bullying you all these years?
I'm a smaller ass.
How crazy is it that in the 90s and early 2000s, like the thing was to have a small ass, you know, having a fat ass was like an insult. But now, you know, people are moving fat down there, and that's all the rave, you know, ass fat. It's crazy. While Sarah's trying to get her beauty sleep, this nigga Chris is out her window screaming over her balcony. Slim, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my room in my dreams conjuring spirits and you blinging my line. Even though it's the middle of the night, Chris is like, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking maybe we can move in together. Before explaining how he can't stop thinking about Sarah and he doesn't know why, but he thinks he's in love. And this is why we don't do love spells, children. You know, a wise man once told me it's better to do an attraction spell, not necessarily a love spell. The girl visits the spiritual shop again and Sarah tells Lirio she needs to undo her love spell. When you open a floodgate, how do you undo it? Lirio asks. If you unleash something with a spell, there is no undoing. It must run its course. Yep. Nanny says Sarah should let him suffer, but Lirio informs this little girl it's not your place to judge who should suffer. Bonnie's mouth is off the chain now that she's Patti LaBelle, new attitude, and she asks Lirio when they're gonna find out what's behind the curtain. Yeah, what's back there? Sarah joins in. All the missing kids in the neighborhood? Black magic? Now, what if Lirio said to her, no, your mother? Then what? Sitting here trying to act grown, trying to act cute in front of your little friends when you just asked her for help. See, this is the problem with y'all kids today. See, let's talk about. But this doesn't faze her. She tells Sarah, true magic is neither black nor white. It's both, because nature is both loving and cruel all at the same time. And the only good or bad is in the heart of the witch. Life keeps a balance on its own.
You understand?
Not really.
Learn something from this!
Well, then understand this. Whatever you send out, you get back ×3.
And Rochelle is like, oh, wait, we ain't hear that in the book. Nah, don't talk about no, y'all grown, don't talk about no book. Like, that's Magic 101. What? Nancy's looking at a book where Stormy Skies starts coming to life. And its title is Invocation of the Spirit. Oh, hell. Of course, her ass tosses it on the desk. And Lirio's like, baby doll, you must be very experienced to do this. This is very dangerous. Look, lady, I'm a big girl, okay? Now please sell me the book. It's the way that none of the other witches are stepping up to Nancy. The ladies hit the beach after sundown, all carrying symbolic animals. Rochelle carries Nemo the clownfish, Miss Water Sign. Bonnie carries a butterfly, Miss Air Sign. Sarah carries a lovebird, Miss Earth Sign. And Nancy carries a snake, Miss Fire Sign. Sarah once again brings up the night she tried to take her life and tells the girls how before things were at rock bottom for her, and when she'd close her eyes, all she see were snakes and bugs everywhere. This is important. And when she'd open her eyes, the bugs were still there. Homegirl is venting to her new friends about trauma, basically. And Nancy is over there kissing her little snake, talking about some, you know, the serpent is a powerful being. He should be respected. Like, you are...
Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the east. Hear me! Us. Hear us.
The crew had to return to the location a second time to complete filming, interrupted by several weird occurrences that even caused the witch consultant on the set, Pat Devon, to raise an eyebrow. They used actual Wiccan rites and language to invoke powerful forces. And then, as Firuza Balk attempts to invoke Manon, a flock of bats hovered over the set and the tide rose dramatically, extinguishing the circle of candles. Pat Devon said the fictitious creation of the god Manon sounds very close to Manananan, the Gaelic god of the sea. Andrew Fleming quoted, every time the girls started the ceremony, and only when they would start the ceremony, the waves would start coming up tremendously fast, pounding heavily. Then right when Nancy says her line, Manon, fill me, right at that exact moment, we lost power. It was a very strange thing. During the chant, Nancy is yelling, we invoke thee. But at the last second, she says,
Mala! Fill me!
And the next morning, this bitch is walking on water. What kind of sorcery is this? She's like, did you feel that? I can... I can feel them running through my veins. Yo, we need to do something about this girl fast. The camera pans and all along the shore there are dead sharks everywhere. Nancy is talking about these are my gifts.
I can feel you in me.
That's what she said.
Oh, I'm your daughter now. He's everywhere. He's in everything.
One night while cruising around in the 6'4", Sarah brings up the elephant in the car. I've completely humiliated Chris when all I wanted him was to show the kitty some love. And Bonnie, what's going on with you, ho? You used to be nice and now you're a narcissist. And Bonnie is like, oh, excuse me that I spent a big chunk of my life being a monster. And now that I'm Beyonce and I'm having fun, you got a problem with it. I'm sorry. The girls, per usual, are not listening. And Nancy is turning traffic lights different colors. Oh, baby. Sarah is reminding them about Lirio's warning of throwing things out of balance. Basically, they're getting what they want now, but baby doll, that shit gonna come back to you. Who gives a shit? It's scary, it's fun. And you need to stop trying to win over Bonnie and Rochelle, because it's not gonna work. Sarah calls her paranoid, and this just sets off the trigger, only proving her point further.
Paranoid. Will you shut up?
So Nancy's all, do you want to leave the circle or something? Because just tell me now. Like, no, mama, she just wants you to think. And did y'all forget that y'all did not have this power until Sarah came along? See, Laura is losing more and more hair as the days pass, and do I care? No. Talking about what did I do to deserve this? Rochelle's backing up like, ciao. And after turning her head at a mirror, her reflection looks away. Ooh, what's happening? Chris is on the phone harassing Sarah about having dinner, and she finally agrees the following night. But where is dinner at? Because y'all just hanging out in the whip. Sarah's venting to Chris about the girls and the way they're acting, and this joker is talking about them being one with each other. So Sarah's like, you know, do you ever think about why you feel the way you do? And Chris says that he just woke up one day and he couldn't stop thinking about her, and you know, now that he has her, he's never letting her go. I'm scared, y'all. He starts touching up on her and she's like, take me home, nigga. He rejects, she dips out, he chases her, pins her to the ground, unbuckling his belt. No. Oh no, not this. Sarah knees him, getting free, and runs into the dark all the way to Rochelle's house. All the girls are having a meeting with candles, of course. And after Sarah tells him what happened, Nancy is ready to crash out. There's a party over at Trey's and she's just gonna go play. Nanny show up in the building sticking her tongue out at a random girl who then goes to snitch at Chris and friends that Nancy Downs is at the party. Chris Brown finds Nanny McPhee and asks if Sarah is with her. And Nan directs him upstairs into a room with a moody fireplace. This freaky frog climb on top of him, bringing up all the fun times they had together, and Chris is like, yeah, I've been trying to forget, and tells her to go away. She tries to give him a little, you know, little witchy tongue, and he throws her off.
Go away.
The way that she curls up on the, I'm sorry, like, it's funny. The girls take a taxi to the party, and inside, Rochelle is stopped by Laura with a Family Dollar wig on, and she's like, hey girl, how's it going? Chris and Sarah are making out on the bed when the door opens and Sarah, oh right, it's Nancy, glamour, right? Chris is like, you're a witch. Nancy tells Chris that, yeah, babe, Sarah is a witch as well, and you know the only reason you're in love with her is because she put the poom spell on you. Word. He's in shock and Sarah starts yelling, saying that we've scared him enough, Nancy, let's go. But no, he's gotta pay. You're just jealous, he says. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Jealous? You don't even exist to me. Her body lifts up and her wheels are dragging across the floor. Oh, this is spooky. The only way you know how to treat women is by treating them like whores. When you're the whore. And that's gonna stop. And when she asks Chrissy Teigen if he understands, he says,
I'm sorry.
He's sorry. Oh, he's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry. Sorry, my ass. Should I keep this on for the rest of the video? I don't know. I feel like Corbin Blue. What time is it? You know? Anyway, Nancy blows Chris Brown off the balcony, ending his short-lived whorish life. Sarah's in bed crying to her father, saying how Chris was a good guy. But was he? I don't think so. Even Sarah's father can't comfort her. He's telling her he fell, it was an accident, chill out, Buddha. But she's like, just leave me alone. Please don't touch me. Everything I touch turns to shit. This wig is really killing me. Right. Sarah takes a picture of the coven, cutting out Nanny McPhee and chanting one of the most iconic spells in cinema.
Bind you from doing harm, Nancy. Harm against other people and harm against yourself.
All right now, a natural witch getting things shaking and moving. Huh. One night while she's in bed just chilling, trying to get some rest, the three witches bust through her balcony, floating in the air, choking her. But it's all just a silly little dream. The next day, Sarah is a paranoid mess. She goes in the bathroom stall for privacy, and her sisters bust that joint open like Big Bird. The police had came to all the girls' houses, and even though Sarah said that she didn't say anything, Nancy is like, but you're lying. She is Manon's daughter after all. I can read minds, Sarah. Sarah finally confesses to wanting out the coven, and Nancy's like, that's fine, we don't need a fourth anymore. Right, girls? And they nod like the little sheep that they are. Like, look, like I said, oh, after the natural witch give you skanks some power, you practitioners, huh? The hell? Now y'all want to sit up here and turn against her. They tell Sarah if she's leaving the coven, she might want to think about leaving the school too. Or maybe the city. Or the planet.
Please don't do any more spells on me.
Oh. There's a major dramatic scene that was cut in post-production where Sarah starts telling Bonnie and Rochelle how Nancy has completely lost her mind, and she tries to get them to agree to cast a binding spell on her, which is, you know, the binding spell that she eventually uses.
You guys can't tell me that you haven't seen anything different about her. She's completely lost it. All we have to do is take a picture of her and wrap a white ribbon around
It says it can backfire.
I think we should take the chance. Thought we weren't supposed to practice magic on each other, ladies.
And then Nancy finds out about this and she starts like verbally attacking all of them one by one.
I have saved you all from oblivion!
And also in that scene, we find out that Rochelle is the only black girl in the school and she's shunned off for that reason.
When I met you, no one could even talk to you. Only black girl in a white neighborhood.
The director, Andrew Fleming, he said it was a very powerful scene that he really liked, but he felt that it diluted this scene in the bathroom where the girls properly turn against Sarah.
Even you. Now that you're all beautiful and perfect, you think everything's just hunky-dory. When I met you, no one could even stand the sight of you, because you were a disgusting freak. And I can take you back there, and don't you doubt that. I leave you alone for 2 minutes with her. And what do? You turn your backs on me, just like everybody else has ever done. I only have one thing to say to you. Don't you ever screw with me! Walk away. Run away, little girl. Run home to mommy. She'll make it better, little bitch.
And he also felt like it was unrealistic that Bonnie and Rochelle would remain friends with Nancy after saying all that and telling them off. Sarah goes to Lirio's shop begging for help, and Lirio directs Sarah into her temple. They step inside of a pentagram as waves of energy swarm around their feet. Lirio tells her, "You have a tremendous light inside of you, more than any witch I've ever known. You must not be afraid." She touches Sarah's ring and assures her mother was a witch, and she's telling Sarah to be strong. Miss Mama must surrender herself to a higher power and invoke the spirit. And Sarah's like, "But the spirit made Nancy crazy, LOL." But that's because Nancy took it to a dark place. There is no other way. The women raise their hands and start chanting. And that's when a big glamour explosion scares her off. Even though, she can see that nothing actually happened, like it's glamour, and you are inside of this pentagram with this expert. Like, come on, bro, just, but she was stressed out. I'll give it to her. Sarah runs home and Nancy calls the phone. On the phone book, we see Flight 321 is written, just as Nancy tells her that Daddy and the irrelevant stepmama flew back to San Francisco. Sarah turns on the news, and what do you know? Their plane crashed. Nancy, you are going to the deepest pits of hell. I want you to know that. Sarah is tripping out. Things are getting freak nasty as Sarah starts hallucinating snakes, rats, lizards, maggots. Oh, the list goes on. Sarah screams, "Stop it!" running into the shower just when...
Gotcha! If I was as pathetic as you are, I would have killed myself ages ago. You should get on with it.
The house is now completely clean, and Sarah heads downstairs where all three witches are hanging in the living room. This is another one of my favorite little scenes, right? I mean, just, a plethora of lines delivered from Farouz. Come on, like... After Sarah asks where her father is, Nancy assures her she'll be seeing him real soon. Because tonight, dear, you're going to end your life. The coven levitates in the air, taunting Sarah by saying that she killed Chris and she also killed her mom. You killed your mom when you were coming out of her. Now that is really special. Even I couldn't pull that off. Bravo! Now, Nancy's next line delivery is, I'm gonna say it, in my top 5 favorite lines in cinema till this day. Rochelle asks, what's Sarah's problem? Why doesn't she just use magic on us? Because she's weak! Weak. Poor baby is just bawling, and Nanny's like, oh my God, you're so disgusting. Before the coven starts chanting, now is the end, let her go in peace. A letter drops with Sarah's handwriting reading, I killed Chris, I'm sorry. I didn't write that. Doesn't matter. The handwriting still looks the same. She inches closer. What's wrong with your scar, Sarah? The girl slices her wrist. Oh my God, she is sick. And Sarah's just hollering, it's not real. Then why are you still bleeding? Yet again, another line. Sarah runs upstairs and then Nancy's like, she's so pathetic. Oh my, I fucking love Nancy. I do. A menace to society, but goddamn, she's so funny. I gotta take this off. It's getting hot. Hold on. But yeah, no, Sarah is, screaming as she's going through her medicine cabinet because, she really thinks that her wrists are still bleeding. And you can hear Nancy downstairs mocking her. But a little glimpse of her mother's portrait gives her enough strength to remember what to do. Nancy tells Rochelle to check on Sarah, and Rochelle is like, I am not taking my black ass up there. But Nancy holds her blade up to her throat, screaming, get your lazy ass up there, I'll slit your throat. So Bonnie grabs her and they both go. Sarah is lying flat on the ground, invoking the spirit. Amen. It's about time. As she hears Bonnie and Rochelle coming. By the power of 3 times 3, make them see, make them see. The girls pass a big mirror in the hallway and ooh, Rochelle is balding and Bonnie is looking like Frederick Krueger's daughter. Both of those chipmunks skedaddle and leave Nancy alone. Now, if she was smart, she would go with them. The picture of Sarah's mother starts moving as she whispers to her daughter in reverb, reach inside yourself. And now she's focused. Nancy goes hunting, calling for Sarah, and backs into a mirror where her reflection turns around, now in the form of Sarah. This chick touches her shoulder, then steps through the mirror. I know that's right. Low-key, stepping through a mirror, stepping through a portal is more impressive than walking on water. I'm sorry, Jesus. Love you, but you know, come on, she's walking through portals. Sarah lets Nancy know that Manon came to her and he saved her, and he also wanted to give Nancy a message. She's in deep shit. She's abused what he's given and now she's gonna pay the price. Roaches start crawling up her hands. Oh my god, this is nasty. Her hands turn into serpents, and in the blink of an eye, her entire body is covered in bugs until she screams and shakes them off.
Relax, it's only magic. Now who's pathetic?
Next line from Nancy is what the audience have been saying the entire back half of the movie.
Look, I know I'm a little crazy.
No. She apologizes to Sarah for everything getting out of hand, no more games, and tries to excuse herself. But first, one more thing, Sarah says. I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm. Harm against other people and harm against yourself. Hold on, girl. But she doesn't stop. Well, at least until... The girls fly to the wall. Nancy is over top of Sarah, slapping her around, screaming, I called him first. I'll kill you, I'll kill you, I'll kill you. And although Nancy is somewhat attacking Sarah with a knife, she doesn't actually hurt her, despite literally sitting on top of her. And some people think that it has to do with her binding spell already taking effect. A dresser shoots down the hall, Nancy jumps out the way, and the block smashes into Sarah. When Nanny gets up, she starts rummaging through the clothes and only finds a school outfit. Tricky, 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 Nancy whispers, slowly taking out her blade. And that's when Sarah comes back to form and kicks the bad witch down the hall, sending her smashing into a mirror. Now, where were we? I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm. Harm against other people and harm against yourself. A bit of time passes. We don't know how much. It could be weeks, a few months, a summer. Sarah's hairline is still a mess, so who cares, right? Rochelle and Bonnie visit Sarah, apologizing and saying that they feel really bad, and Sarah's like, haha, about trying to kill me?
Right.
Mr. Bailey says hi to the girls, proving he's still alive and that the crash was just glamour. Sarah then excuses herself to go inside, and the girls are like, we were just thinking, do you still have your powers? And Sarah doesn't respond, so they're like, okay, well, anyway, if you ever want to hang out and chant or call the corners, I don't know, boo, we'll see. Hold your breath until I call.
She probably doesn't have any powers anyway.
So Sarah's got to show the girls a little party trick since, you know, mouths are still off the chain. Thunder rumbles and lightning strikes a big tree branch that almost hits the girls. Be careful, you don't want to end up like Nancy. And how did Nancy end up, you might ask? One of the best smash cuts in cinema history. She said, it's funny as fuck, I'm sorry. Nanny McPhee is locked away in the mental institution, telling the nurse, he gave me power. And the nurse gives her a shot and replies, I gave you something too, honey. I gave you the power. Oh, poor baby. She's in bed tweaking out. And we end on her repeating to herself, I'm flying, I'm flying, I'm flying, I'm flying, and fade to white. Although I've seen this film requested quite a few times, and I mean, you know, if you are subscribed, you knew this video was gonna happen. This is one of my favorites, and you know, I would be lying if I said I wasn't just a little bit hesitant to talk about it, because I don't know, I just feel like talking about the duality and the dynamics of being a girl, which applies here, and me being a man is not really my place, right? I can only comment on what I've seen with the women in my life and what I've learned from them, and my two best friends especially. Going through high school and still till this day actually, just two very strong women, and they've made me so aware of a lot of things, be that tapping into my empathetic side or just looking at things through a feminist lens. And I thank them for that. If anybody is going to check me, those two will, on the social justice thing, and you know, that's how it is. And like I've said, I welcome all the ladies watching to always correct me when I'm wrong, when it applies, or when I'm critiquing things that have to do with womanhood and such. I welcome it. So what makes the craft so legendary? Many things, actually. The gothic fashion, the one-liners, the witchy aesthetic and dynamic between the girls. Very fun, very fun. And this feature also has inspired so many pieces of media. Charmed is the first and most obvious one. The first signal being that they use the same theme, which is a cover of The Smiths' How Soon Is Now. American Horror Story Coven, Ryan Murphy's freaky ass was taking notes, and I'll even throw Ginger Snaps in there. While different in that it's a werewolf film, the elements lie within. There's also Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, yup, all of those in my eyes took some sort of aspect, inspiration from the craft. Bow down.
Bow. Bow down to the queen, bitches. Bow. Just like that. Just go just like that.
The core of this story is about 4 young girls using witchcraft to navigate their adolescence, their identity, and their trauma. Every girl's initial wish reflects an internal struggle. Rochelle deals with racism, Nancy's is poverty, Bonnie struggles with her body image, and Sarah's is isolation and loneliness. And out of the 4 girls, Rochelle's is hands down absolutely the most underdeveloped. I mean, do we have to talk about the fact that Rachel True was left out of the promo interviews until one of the girls stepped in phoning the studio, and then Rachel also was the only one of the 4 girls not to be invited to the MTV Movie Awards that year? Like, are you fucking kidding me? She's done many interviews opening up about this and how so many colored girls, be that black, mixed, Latina, whatever, always come up to her saying how much they liked seeing her in the group and how much it meant to them. And you know what's funny? The character of Rochelle originally wasn't even supposed to be black. Like, I'll put money on it. I bet her name probably wasn't even Rochelle. It was probably Rachel. I mean, the actress's real name. Like, what white girl is named Rochelle? Come on now. But Rachel True was casted and they brought in the race plot line. Originally, Rochelle's character was supposed to have an eating disorder and deal with bulimia. I have such a big problem with every time we see black characters, their entire arc loosely, storyline is about them being black and about races, and I'm like, time and place. Every time I see a black, why do we have to harp on the trauma? Like, come on. There are so many other routes you could have went, but you know, for Rochelle, they could have stuck with the eating disorder. That is something that is still, that affects a lot of teenage girls. That would have been empowering for them to see her conquer that. I think. But going back to my opinion on her being underdeveloped, I mean, what's Rochelle's story? A racist girl on the swim team, she uses magic, humbles the girl, and then what? You know, I guess she's no longer racist and gives her a half-ass apology, not even an apology. She just asks her, how's it going at a party? And then like, that's all.
How's it going?
Fine.
Listen.
What? I don't know. Like, if okay, cool. If you want to do the racism plot line, then let's do it. Let's really get into it. Sarah found power within herself and her natural abilities as a witch. Nancy also found power, taking it to the extreme to the point of corruption. And Bonnie had an arc of being a quote monster and blossoming like a butterfly, whilst also having a downfall because she becomes completely vain and shallow. Just fuck Rochelle, I guess. But you know what? Also, this film was made and written, unfortunately, by some white dudes. So it's still disappointing, though. The very small lens of the three practitioners being called, quote, the bitches of Eastwick is so on par for how witches have always been portrayed in film and in the public. That is something in itself. Whenever you get to the topic about magic or witchcraft, people automatically assume bad, devil, evil. Like, no babe, dabbling in this stuff is about liberation. Now, you know, it can be bad depending on who is doing it and what is their intent behind it, but not everybody who practice this very broad craft has, you know, ill intentions. That's like ignorant as hell. Some examples are brujeria, which is Latin American and Caribbean magic, which is cultural. Voodoo, the most watered down and ignorantly depicted type in films, is religious. That's from, you know, Haiti and Louisiana. Then there's hoodoo, African American folk magic, very practical. That was rooted in survival and empowerment. The slaves used that to heal and protect their kind. Again, let's not be ignorant. I will also say it's all about where you are drawing your power from. In the film, like I said, Manon is fictional because they didn't want to conjure up any powerful deities or disrespect anything, influence the kids to summon stuff they can't handle, whatever. But Manon is depicted as something adjacent to Mother Nature, right? Everything around us in nature. They say he is the stadium that God and the devil play football on. Now let's touch up on the Chris thing. What's interesting is that the lack of consent happens on both sides here. The repercussions of Sarah's love spell led to Chris pushing boundaries and trying to assault her, and Sarah willingly put him under the spell in the first place, stripping his free will away.
Can I help you? No, nobody can help me.
I hold my statements of saying that Chris he's not a good guy. Call it peer pressure, being a teenager, being a guy, whatever, you know, I don't care. He deserved a punishment, but did he technically deserve what happened to him? And more so, did he deserve to die? I wouldn't go that far. Then Nancy took out her frustrations of whatever he did to her in the past and used what he did to Sarah as fuel for her revenge. I mean, we don't even get the full image and scope of what he did to Nancy. There's just a nod that he, you know, went around the school and lied about her, and he also gave her an STD at one point. But that scene with Nancy telling him off and having her big catharsis with Chris is one of the best scenes in the film. Fairuza is such a phenomenal actress, my god. And it's even more amazing that she's literally knowledged on the craft, and she is a practicing Wiccan. Like, you know what, good for you. Good for you. And Andrew said that she was reading the Kabbalah on set, period. Although Nancy's mental state is portrayed as volatile and dangerous, ending with her locked up in the institute, should it be seen as problematic or just a classic 90s trope? Personally, I don't see a problem with it. I don't, straight up. It's conveying the consequences of being power hungry. Nancy acted like the world was her oyster, changing stoplights, killing her stepfather, attempting to kill the girl who unlocked the door, if you will, to all these power, gave these bitches power. Yeah. Actually, yeah, hold on. Let's bring that up about how these three girls who couldn't get things shaking and moving before Sarah came along were, ooh. Well, another light died, y'all. You know, we keep rolling. But anyway, it was in an earlier draft of the script. It was more of a plot point and brought up that the three of them were feeding off of Sarah's power. But I mean, I feel like that kind of speaks for itself, like in the final cut, no? The effect of Nanny McPhee's selfishness resulted in her entering psychosis. And, you know, it's really just a cautionary tale. But also, let me say this, while she is the antagonist, the villain of the story, I don't think that Nancy Downs is evil. I don't think that she's pure evil. She's the rage of abused, poor, and marginalized girls. It's the desperation that got the best of her. She was jealous of Sarah. Sarah's magic was effortless. She's got a nice house with her dad. They're a cute little middle-class family. This boy that Nancy used to mess with is now all over this new girl's feed. It checks out. I don't know. All in all, The Craft gave a generation of girls and outsiders a sense of power and identity. But like any spell, comes with a price. The theme to me kind of goes beyond the tale of consuming power for selfish gain. It's also just really about being cautious with what you put out, period. Because remember, kids, what goes around comes right back around. And sometimes it's threefold. I've got some analytical questions I would like to ask you. Do you think Nancy deserved a second chance? Was Manon ever real, or was it the girls all along? Could The Craft be seen as a metaphor for how society punishes women who want too much? And was Sarah wrong for binding Nancy instead of helping her? Comment your answers down below. I would love to read them. If you're new here and you've made it this far, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. I talk about horror films and cult films. That's pretty much it. Give your man a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And share this video with your friends. Put a spell on that little notification bell so you know whenever I post a new video. Until next time, witches, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and take care of your spirit.